It's gonna be a very long day working in my homestead, and it's only important that I carry some lunch with me. I've packed some white tea and taro, which I brought home the other day. It's so nice to be enjoying the fruits of my labor and just eating from my farm. The process of turning a property into a stage where we can call it a home is not quite easy. It involves a lot of hard work and numerous changes which we have to make from time to time. Deciding what to do at different spots of the home is quite a difficult process. I've had to demolish structures, I've had to even change my gate more than once. I've had to move my garden from one place to the other. I keep changing a lot of stuff, and I will keep doing it until I have everything where I feel they belong. I went out shopping yesterday and I met two of my subscribers. They were carrying some trees in their car and they blessed me with one fruit tree. I never get tired of collecting and planting trees, and I know one day this place is going to turn into a huge food forest. I learned to dig using a spade from one of the homesteading channels, and I didn't know it was quite easy using a spade to dig a hole. I've always used a hoe and it requires a lot of energy. I can't quite remember the name of the channel, but I'm so grateful I learned this. When planting a tree seedling, it's always important to also loosen the soil around it, not just digging the hole. It requires some fine soil to start off its roots, and that's the reason the loosening of the soil makes it easier for them. This is compost. I always bring some from home every once in a while, and I'm just going to mix it with the soil that is already loosened before I plant my seedling. It's quite sad that I can't remember the name of the fruit tree, but they said it grows in the Philippines, a lot of it, and it's a starchy fruit that we can fry as chips. And they also said it will fruit in about 2 years. As I always tell you, anyone who grows anything is a believer in tomorrow. So I believe in 2 years' time, I'll be here to celebrate the fruits of this tree. I have a neighbor who is not so patient with trees. She has no trees in her home, and every time I tell her to plant some, she says, "How long will this take to grow? Will I even be alive when it's grown?" I mean, if you want to be alive, there'll be someone alive to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So why not just plant it? At least your children or your other generations will remember our grandma or someone planted this tree for us. Many of us think that there's a lot of work to be done on the structures in the home, but I'm of a contrary opinion. As a person who loves being outdoors, I think there's so much work that has to be done on the yard than even in the house. So each day I try to spend time doing things that will improve the appearance of the yard. At the moment, the yard is quite uneven. If you're walking, you'd easily find your foot in a hole. These are dents that were left after the activities of the building process, and I'm just trying to fill up those holes so that I can have a level ground throughout the yard. Other than leveling the ground, I've had to move the trees from different spots because as I look at my yard, I see what it will look like in the future. So I see my trees fully grown, and if they would look nice at the spot where they are. So while they are still young, I keep making those transfers from one area to the other, hoping I get them the right spots where they will thrive and will look most beautiful. I'm using the soil that we dug out of the trenches while constructing the driveway. And I'm just gonna spread it out. Then eventually we will be using the red soil over it, and that's when we will have our lawn. I did plant the buffalo grass a while back, and it has spread throughout the yard, though it's not as I'd love it to be yet, so I will be adding a little more over the red soil. And spreading soil over what is already existing doesn't spoil them. They will just grow over it. So I don't have to replant these areas that already have it. The biggest problem I'm dealing with right now is having unwanted grass growing in the yard. There's a lot of the swamp grass growing, and we keep cutting them every week. Unfortunately, it grows so fast. So if not attended to, then the home is going to be very bushy. My farmhand has taken the day off, but we usually work together on this. So I'm gonna take a break and have my lunch. That work seems easy while somebody is doing it, but the moment you get that rake, you will know how hard it is. But I'm not complaining. I enjoy everything I do in my homestead. And at the end of the day, the results are always quite visible. Maybe I should be doing the before and after so that you see what I'm talking about. I just love how quiet this village is. It gives you the right environment to enjoy nature. All I can hear is birds and not any unnecessary noises. I just can't wait to move in. Now let's deal with this endless grass. Forget about the time lapse. I usually find it really satisfying cleaning the grass from the yard. I just love how it remains green after the cleaning. It's quite satisfying. It's just so beautiful. And now the holes in the yard are quite visible, and it will be so easier to fill up with soil. I've started up some little flower gardens like the ones we have at home. And I have not taken a video of that. I'll be showing you in my next video. They've started growing very well, and soon I'm going to have some beautiful, very beautiful spots in the yard. So right here next to this tree is where I'm going to put the picnic table, which is still at the carpenter's. You remember the video where I went to see how far it is? So I'm going to make a paver under this tree, and then I'll bring in the picnic table and put it right under the tree so I can enjoy some beautiful outdoor time here. My next door neighbor has cows. I intend to have some cows too, maybe a maximum of 2. I wanted 1, but you guys advised me that animals get lonely just as we do. So I'll have 2. And I hope this grass will have a place to go. We keep a few cows back at home, and the lawn is always so well manicured that you guys are always asking me what we use to mow our lawn, yet it's just the cows that eat it, leaving it so neat that it looks manicured. So I intend to do the same, just keep a few cows to be eating up this grass so we don't have to be doing the slashing every day. I bought a few chickens and they're coming home pretty soon, so there's going to be a lot of life in this home starting next week or 2 weeks to come. They will be living in one of the rooms in the house as we put up the chicken coop. I hope that doesn't sound weird. Here in Africa, we live with animals in the same house. I've seen my neighbors, lots of them live with their chickens in the house. So it's not something new here. It's been a very beautiful day to work outdoors, and the weather is changing already, but I'm just about to finish, so no worries. Just one more major task to go before we call it a day. Do you see my roses ready to bloom? My presence here is being felt in a big way by the plants. I'm so happy about it. It's raining in the neighboring village and it's sending us a lot of cold. But I never leave without harvesting some taro. One of my neighbors has come in to help and I'm so grateful. I'm so tired at this point. I've harvested a lot of taro from this small portion where I had planted, and I'm now moving them to the other side of the farm. I'm trying to clear this area because this is part of the front yard. I don't want taro growing in my front yard. Then I think the next thing I'm gonna do is plant grass over that area after leveling it. This has been a really good harvest, being the first time I planted taro, and I've harvested over I think 2-3 months. I'm grateful for the bumper harvest, and also just like to remind you that hard work pays. So the stem that is left after cutting off the taro that we cook is what is taro seed. That is what we're going to plant. So I think when I return, I will be planting them on the other side where I had allocated for my vegetable garden. Some of the taro I've harvested was so huge, I just couldn't believe they were coming from my own land. What I like about the village people is they will always join in when there's some work going on. You don't have to invite anyone to help you. So this boy has been watching me working the whole day, and then he just came and told me, I'd love to help you. And that's how we got here. And he's made my work so easy today. I don't think I would have harvested all this taro after all the work I've done. And they always come with a pure heart, not expecting anything in return, just coming to help. So it's you to decide whether you give them a tip or not. So the taro is harvested looking quite filthy, being there's been a lot of rain and they grow in swamps. So we're just going to wash them nicely and then I'll carry them home. It's this same neighbor who helped me get the seeds and even plant and maintain the taro. It was my first time and I definitely didn't have an idea of how things are supposed to be done. So that tells you just how helpful the village people are and how they welcome you into the neighborhood with so much love. Working with the village people is always fun. They have a lot of stories, and this also helps me to discover more people in my village and people who live around me, and also to know what to expect from my neighbors, their character, their behavior, their way of life, because every place is different in its own way. And before I move in, it's just important that I know the kind of people I'm going to be living with. So I don't mind little gossips here and there, because with that I'm collecting data of different people and of the entire village. I don't want to cross people's paths when I come. I want to live peacefully with everyone. That's why this is very important for me. And these village people are a big source of information. So bringing them closer helps them open up and tell you a lot about the village and its people. It's a bit hard calling somebody into your home to interrogate them just to find out what goes in the village. But when you work together, then these things just come out naturally. I would call this a very beautiful and productive day. I've done so much, and there's such a big difference from the way I found this home when I walked in today. And that's just another step towards turning this into a home. I'm walking out happily tired, and tomorrow is another day to start over. For the next few months, it's gonna be a lot of work, but that hard work is soon going to pay when we are living in a beautiful environment. It's time to go back home on a motorbike, enjoying the evening breeze, which is all I need right now after the heat and all the day's work. Once again, thank you so much for joining me today and for watching the video up to the end. I hope to see you again in the next one. For now, it's bye-bye.